And now for something completely different.
And the board's on, and I am Lightning. Welcome to Thunder and Lightning Gaming. This is one of the podcasts we do, and that's Thunder.
Hello, I'm Thunder, and welcome to Cinematic Relief.
We're doing that one.
That one is the one we're doing. God, you started speaking so soon after you hit play on the. I think the gross ass noise that plays when the board turns on is going to have to be in the episode. Yeah, it sucks.
Sorry.
It's your fault.
Well, we could start over.
No, fuck it. Hello, welcome. Sorry,
You already said that.
Sorry, our channel's been kind of barren lately.
But it's I went away on vacation, which we didn't plan out at all.
No.
So we kind of accidentally took a little break, but we've been working on some stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna pick up steam soon.
Yeah, and we got some new wacky stuff we've been working on. So
yeah.
we'll see how that works out.
But they might have already seen it. But for now, just so there was something on the channel other than Resident Evil, we wanted to record an episode of Cinematic Relief because and this will probably be the title of this podcast.
Yes.
I saw Aquaman, and it was
that's just the title.
It was an unmitigated train wreck, and I want to talk about. I took extensive notes, and we're going to talk about.
I haven't seen it.
So Chris hasn't seen it,
but I paid Anthony $11.50, so I paid for my ticket. He's going to give us the play-by-play.
Nah, man, it's on HBO Go, and I stole HBO Go from you, so.
Oh yeah, give me the money.
So I owe you $11.50 or whatever the fuck. So I'm gonna, to the best of my ability, I'm gonna describe to you what happens in this film.
Okay.
I'm gonna go like scene by scene or whatever. And I'm gonna talk about everything I hated, but I'm also gonna talk about everything I liked because there was some stuff I liked. Most of my issues are with the plot and the writing.
Sounds about right.
Which is, yeah. Should we talk about how we just don't?
Well, that's what I was saying, is you and I have made it pretty apparent on this channel, and if you listen to the podcast, like the one you're listening to right now, I'm sure you've stumbled upon a few of our rants about how the DCCCCU isn't quite as good as the MCU, and there were plenty of steps they could have taken along the way to right themselves. But
no, and that's the thing. If there was no MCU, the DCCCU would be
bad.
Fine.
Yeah,
but because the MCU exists and it's so great, and DC is looking at MCU and they're just like, we'll do it our way.
Exactly. That's the thing, is it's clearly just a money grab, is what bothers me. They've proven time and again that they could correct what they're doing, and they just choose not to. And it's like, well, they're going to watch whatever we throw out there, so.
Yeah, that's definitely the mentality. And here's the deal, I haven't seen Shazam. People have been telling me that it's pretty good. I will be the judge of that, because I thought Aquaman was going to be good based off the trailers, and it was definitely not. But here's the thing. It wasn't horrid. It wasn't like a awful movie. Like, if you were like, I kind of want to watch it, I haven't seen it yet, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, throw it on. I'd say it's a good, solid 6 out of 10.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
It's not bad. It just wasn't. Oh, I didn't like it. There was a lot of it I didn't like.
I mean, just to tie up issues with the DC movies, I'm just going to refer to them as that. They've made some poor decisions. There's only about half the movies as there are of the MCU, and they've been around just about the same amount of time. They lose contracts left and right with their actors, and that should just end it right there. If Chris Evans just decided he was done, I think the MCU would just be like, all right, well, you know what? I guess we're done.
Oh, you mean if 4 years ago he was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they'd be like, well, either you die or we're done. I don't know what to do.
I guess I know how Captain America Civil War's gotta end.
Right? No, exactly. That's my point. Where DC's like, oh, you're done? Okay. We'll just get somebody else.
And here's what's the most disappointing part about it is that they have the capacity to make a good film.
Oh yeah,
Wonder
they have
Woman,
enough material.
Wonder Woman is a great film, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay,
I
sure.
love that film. Everyone loves that. I mean, everyone I've talked to loves that film. I think that's a really good movie. And it just so happens to be part of this universe with all
Right.
these other shady movies. Because so far, I mean, I like the Justice League movie. I know a lot of people don't. But, like, as far as I'm concerned, there's been, like, 6 or 7 movies in this universe, and one of them was good that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I've seen all of them except the
I
latest
think-
one. Like,
I think we did the research when I forget what we were doing there. We were at I'm going to say the movie theater. You can just blank it out. We were at the Revere movie theater,
okay.
and we were talking about it. Oh, because the Shazam poster was up
Okay.
or whatever, and we were just getting into it. And you looked them up. You looked up how many there were and when they came out. I think there was like 13 at the time.
What? No.
No, there's not that many.
No, it's literally Man of Steel, BVS, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Suicide Squad, Aquaman, Shazam. 5, 6, 7. That's 7.
Oh, okay.
And then Wonder Woman 2 is on her way out.
Okay.
In June. What is that? June 5th, 2020. It's the background on my phone.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
The lock screen, whatever. No one cares. So the movie, the one good thing that it had going for it was it wasn't an origin story movie. This movie takes place after Justice League. So they introduce Aquaman in Justice League, and they don't really introduce him. It's just like, hey, that's the guy who talks to fish, haha. But this movie takes place after that, which is good. But you don't find that out until 32 minutes in.
Oh, good.
The movie does, however, start out with Aquaman's origin. So the movie opens to, believe it or not, Nicole Kidman. Because I don't know how they got her to be in this movie, but she was playing Aquaman's mother. And I'm not familiar with Aquaman's backstory, but basically what happens is she washes up on shore. She's a mer person or whatever. A human dude comes and rescues her. They fall in love. They have Arthur.
good.
Arthur is Aquaman. He's half human, half mer person, or whatever they're called.
I want to see
Atlantean. He's half Atlantean, half...
I want to see how that works, because if she's a fish, she
I shouldn't
lays
have called her.
eggs.
I shouldn't have called her a mer person. They have legs. She's
Oh,
not a
dude.
mermaid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was my
okay.
bad. I couldn't remember the word Atlantean. They're from Atlantis.
Gotcha.
So my first con that I wrote, I have a list of cons and a list of pros. Is the year that came on screen was 1985, but I did cross that out because I looked it up and because I was trying to like gauge how old Jason Momoa was, and it was like within a 2-year span of like how old he would be if he was born in 85.
Oh, okay.
So that wasn't a big deal. There was a scene where he lifts her up and like brings her inside, and she's completely knocked unconscious, or at least that's the vibe I got from it. And she's gripping a trident the whole time. And I feel like if she was unconscious, she wouldn't be able to do that.
No.
And maybe, but probably not.
Do you want to start with the cons or the pros? Because you got a lot more cons than pros.
These are cons.
That's what I'm saying.
Those were cons.
That's what. Do you want to start with the cons or should we start with the pros?
I'm just gonna go in order of when they appear in the movie.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And do my best to describe the plot.
So if that's the case, the movie gets progressively worse.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I did this list in a very counterintuitive way. So Nicole Kidman gets brought onto the couch, and this is in a couple movies, and I don't know why people keep doing this, like writers and stuff. She wakes up and she sees a fish, like a pet fish, and she eats it. She just picks it up and slurps it right down. And the dude sees it, and he's just like, just as long as you don't eat my dog. And it's like, she killed your fish. Do you not care?
Right. Yeah. Right.
And it's like forget the fact that she just ate a fish in front of you, and she's, as far as you know, a human who just swallowed a fish live. Like, that's your fish, dog. Like, that fish has a name. You named it. I know you did.
It's Aquaman.
So that bothered me. The fish was Aquaman.
Yeah.
And then, let's see. Oh yeah, she falls over, and he breaks her fall by putting his hand like right on her wound,
Oh.
which I thought was not great. And then he patched up her wound through her clothes. I thought it was her skin, but it was just like a outfit she was wearing, I guess. And he like patched it up like through the like over the clothes, right? So it was like, I fixed you, but like that's not how that would have worked either. And And then, oh god, I have the worst handwriting. And then I put that she stayed where she washed up forever. Like she's on the run from Atlantis or whatever because she like abandoned them and they're mad at her or whatever and they're trying to find her. And then they do find her later, like a couple minutes later in the movie. And it's like, you guys didn't have to stay in this lighthouse. You could have like moved across the country.
Or just stayed like, I'm assuming it's the U.S.
Yeah.
Just moved to like Oklahoma.
Right, a landlocked state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they have water. Like you could get a giant swimming pool if you need water to survive or whatever,
Yeah,
even though
exactly.
it really looks like you don't.
Actually, that would work perfectly because like that pool could stay open year round probably. Sorry, now I'm just thinking about what if they moved to Oklahoma. Do you know what state they were supposed to be in? The lighthouse?
I do not.
East Coast or West Coast, if you were to guess. Like,
Atlantic Ocean.
oh, okay, so around us.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's. I'm assuming. I just assumed. I assume Atlantis is in the Atlantic Ocean, right?
Makes sense.
Oh, I gave you the good one. You can.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can fix that if you want.
Oh, God. Oh, no, it's just a mess.
Okay, so they didn't explain how she got the wound. I was waiting for her to be like, and this is from this, but she like never explained that, and then it just went away. And then there was like a montage of like, now Aquaman's a 6-year-old, now he's a 10-year-old, and then
I figure we're okay. Everything's right with the world.
okay,
I'll leave it like this because if I didn't, I'd have to
yeah.
move everything around.
So then at that point, Atlanteans come and they do that thing. I'm going to try to explain this. I know you know what this is, but it's kind of hard to explain. They do that thing where two characters are having a conversation and then the conversation is abruptly ended by an explosion.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? So that's going to be important later. So they do that. Remember that.
Okay.
But so these Atlanteans.
How old is he when this happens?
Let's say 8 or 9. I'm going to say.
Okay.
So they burst in. They have like futuristic guns or whatever the fuck. And this is my first pro because they do this a lot in Wonder Woman, and this is the one thing I can commend the DC Universe for because they also technically do this in Suicide Squad, where there's a man character and a woman character, and the woman character is like handling it, and at no point does the man character like
Try to step
be
in.
like, I've got it.
Yeah. Even the cliche, even like, because there's that where the progression of that cliche is the man says, I've got it, and the woman's like, my hero. Then it's,
Right.
I've got it, and the woman's like, no, I've got it. It just didn't happen at all.
No, literally, like this happens a lot in the Wonder Woman movie where she'll like beat someone up, and then Chris Pine's character, who in a lesser movie would be like, well, I could have done that or whatever, he's just like, huh, and then like the scene moves on.
Yeah,
In
no,
this
I can respect that.
In this movie, yeah, me too. No, I really liked it because in this movie, what happened was they break in, the baby Aquaman goes in the corner or whatever, and then the dad's on the other side of the room, and she's like, throw me my trident, and then he throws her trident, and then he hides in the kitchen.
I mean, it makes sense. If, like, assuming Atlanteans have superpowers and, like,
Yeah.
this guy's known this woman long enough where it's like, okay, well, if a fight happens, she's the one to take the helm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was that, and then she dips. They stop the Atlanteans, and then she dips, and she's like, I'll be back someday. Wait for me in this exact spot. And she leaves him with the kid. And then cut to current day. So did I write? Oh, no, sorry, not cut to current day. Cut to one random scene when Aquaman is like, let's say 13 or 14 now.
Okay.
And he's at an aquarium and he's getting bullied. Because he's trying to talk to the fish, like with his mouth, like literally like, hey, fish, what's up? And there's a bunch of bullies that are like pushing him around. They're like, freaky fish boy can talk to fish. And then all the fish in the tank like come and like, they're like, we got you, bro, you know? But it's like a shark. It's like 2 or 3 sharks.
Oh, that's horrifying.
And the shark starts to hit the glass and
God.
actually break the glass. And, like, all I put in my notes is evacuate the goddamn aquarium. Because it's just a bunch of adults and kids being like, what happens if the shark comes in? And I'm like, fucking leave. The shark's going to come. Just exit the building.
I have a random question.
Yeah, go hit me.
Jason Momoa, I don't know what his actual race is. If I was to guess, it'd be Hawaiian. If I was to guess, I don't really know.
I believe so.
I
know he was just arrested because he was protesting a building being torn down in Hawaii. I don't know.
Oh, was he really, like, in real life?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He literally was like, sorry, I can't do Aquaman 2 because I'm protesting this thing. And then he was totally arrested.
Wow.
I don't know the whole story, but I got the gist of it.
Okay. I was just wondering, did they... Because movies have been getting better with this. Did they acknowledge the fact that he isn't Caucasian? Like, were his parents... What color were his parents?
Well, Nicole Kidman is white.
Oh, okay. I genuinely don't know.
And the dad was the same skin color as him.
Okay. Not that it matters. I was just curious because movies have been more sensitive about that, where it's like, let's acknowledge that somebody isn't white.
He speaks, I don't know exactly what language it is, so I'm just going to say Hawaiian like a ignorant piece of shit, but he speaks like it fluently in a couple different scenes.
Oh,
which
really?
was kind of cool, yeah.
That is cool.
Okay, so then let me see if I wrote anything about this. Yeah, okay. So this movie is up until this point has been narrated by Aquaman, like that was the day my parents met and stuff like that. And cut to the end of the movie, the narration isn't tied to anything. You know what I mean? Like, you know how in Iron Man 3 he narrates it, and then when you get to the end of the movie, you're like, oh, he was telling the Hulk the whole time.
Okay, yeah.
This was just narration for the sake of narration. Like, the last line in the movie is narration, and he's like, I am Aquaman, or whatever the fuck. And I was just like, I don't like that this is just narration for, like, he's telling me, I guess.
Yeah,
I wrote
right.
in my notes that he should have been telling the Flash. Like, this whole scene should have been taking place, like in the Justice League movie or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So now we cut to pirates. It's modern day pirates. They're taking over a submarine. The submarine is full of white sailors, and the pirates are led by a African American father and son team.
They're probably not American.
You're right. I just remembered I don't have to say American sometimes. But no, spoiler alert, the son is Black Manta, the Aquaman villain.
Okay.
He is to be Black Manta soon. So when the scene starts out with a dad, you can only imagine how it ends.
Okay.
So there's this part where they're like literally in the boat, like mid pillaging or however you want to say it. And he's like, the dad like turns around, takes a dagger out. He's like, I never told you the story about this dagger. And then in my notes I wrote, but I'll tell it to you now on this mission. Because he literally, as I was watching it, I was like, well, don't tell him now. And then he just does. He's like, this was handed down by, and then I stopped listening because I was like, well, this is dumb. And then they fire bullets in the submarine, which is not a fun or smart thing to do.
I was gonna ask. It's submerged.
They're in a submarine under the water.
How did the pirates get there?
It's explained later that they have they hijacked like a futuristic like government ship, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
That they like swam up and like landed on it and then like went down into it. I just did hand motions that you'll never see. So then Aquaman shows up and he has a very confusing set of powers, at least as far as this movie is concerned, because as soon as he touches down in the submarine, he sees that they have guns. He picks up like a thing that he uses as a shield, and in my head I was like, oh, is he not bulletproof? I thought he was bulletproof, but I guess not, because he is blocking bullets with a shield. But he is totally bulletproof. He's 100% bulletproof. I don't know why they...
In the movie or in...
In the movie. He gets shot with bullets later on, and he's
that's
fine.
a continuity issue.
He literally, in this next scene, gets shot with a giant grenade, and it's a big joke. He, like, gets up, and he's just like, ow! But it's like, he's fine. And it's like, why did you have him, like, not only have the bullets hit the thing he's using as a shield, but the chance of it ricocheting and hit the side of the submarine.
Right.
And then...
Oh, that's weird.
And then, bulletproof or not, and then what happens is he gets into a fist fight type thing with the guy who's going to be Black Manta. And the guy who's going to be Black Manta obviously loses because he's a superhero and he's not a superhero.
Yeah.
And then the dad gets involved. That's where we have the big gun, and he shoots him with it. Do I have any pros? I don't. I've just.
Oh, we're
recalled
already
my
past
next
the pros.
No, we're gonna circle back to some pros. But for this scene I'm talking about now, I don't have any. So
Okay.
he's like fighting the son, and the son loses, and the son's like on the floor, but he's fine. He's not dead or whatever. He's like, "Oh, Dad, don't fight him." And then the dad, fucking like, I don't remember the like subtle nuances of this fight, but like they fight, he loses, the dad's on the floor, Aquaman's like, "Don't be a pirate," or whatever the fuck he says, and then
Listen, kids, don't be a pirate.
This fucking idiot, he's on the ground and he shoots another grenade at Aquaman, but Aquaman dodges out of the way and it hits the side of the ship. And then the worst scene in the entire movie happens because a giant like thing of oxygen that would be on a submarine or whatever falls onto the dad, and he's like, I'm being crushed. And it's way too heavy for the son to lift, and the son's like, Aquaman, please help him, he's gonna die. And Aquaman doesn't help him.
Oh.
He literally, I forget exactly what he says.
That's what superheroes do.
But he said something to the effect of like, next time don't be a pirate or something like that. And then he just walks up and like saves the like sailor dudes. And like I wrote in my notes, this is not the right page. I wrote in my notes, you can play the heroic music all you want. Because then the rest of the fucking movie, Black Manta's like, he killed my father. And then like paralleled with a scene where Aquaman's like, he thinks I killed his dad. And it's like, well, you sort of did.
You kind of did.
You kind of did.
You chose not to save him.
And that's, I think you just said it, but my prevailing thought was like, Aquaman's a superhero.
Right.
Like he's not, so far, he hasn't been a huge asshole.
Right.
Like he wasn't in Justice League.
Well, that's the thing. You can be a superhero and be like chaotic good or you know, lawful neutral.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're going for a lawful good character, or at least a neutral good character.
But like not in this scene.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's another continuity issue. And here's the thing. That could just, if they wanted to play that role of like, he's Aquaman, he saves good people. If you're a dick, though, forget it. And that's fine. You can have a hero like that, but it doesn't sound like that's what they were going for.
I don't know what the hell they were going for, because it never comes up again. I mean, it comes up again, obviously, when Black Manta later on in the movie attacks Aquaman, but Aquaman wins.
Yeah.
I just, like... And then, like, every time they showed Black Manta from this point on, I just didn't care. I was like, I don't care. Like... Not that it's your fault, dude, but, like, you have had the worst scenes so far. Like, the most least enjoyable scenes, and your motive is stupid. And it's not your fault, it's the writer's fault. Also, I guess I'll choose now to bring this up. I think this movie might have been written by Jason Momoa, because literally, like, every one of Aquaman's lines is something that Jason Momoa would say.
Good.
Like, I can't think of a good example, but he was just, like... He was, like, one step away from calling everyone bro. Like, he was just like, oh, I'm a joking over here. Oh, hell. Oh, piss hell. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. And there was some scenes where he was like, there was this one scene where they were listening to a thing. I'll get to that later. And she was like, did you catch that? And he was like, yeah, I caught it. And she was like, well, what did he say? And he was like, I don't know. He said something. I wasn't listening. And it's like, you're not an idiot. Like, you weren't you're not, you haven't been now you're an idiot, though, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just like, in some scenes, he was like a real big meathead, and then in other scenes, he was just like, here I am solving the problem, because I'm not an idiot. Because
it sounds like they wanted a lot of stereotypes to be Aquaman.
Dude,
a lot of, like, he's the cool, edgy one.
Right, and you can do that, but it wasn't, they didn't do it. They did it sometimes.
There was no continuity.
No.
He wasn't the same in every shot.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest issues with the writing, was that, like, scene to scene, I couldn't tell which Aquaman I was going to get.
Yeah.
If I was going to get the, like, I didn't sign up for this Aquaman, or the, like, boners, right, Aquaman, or the, like, no, I'm the smartest person in the room. Look at all this shit I'm doing, Aquaman.
I mean, granted, I haven't seen this movie yet, but that stuff bothers me.
And then, I put, when does this movie take place, but I crossed it out because we figured that out.
Right.
Then there was a scene where Aquaman and his dad are at a bar, and one of my pros, they're watching a newscast, and they say the word metahuman, which I appreciated because that's actually like what superheroes are called in the DC universe.
Okay.
And I didn't think I was going to hear that word, so I appreciated that. And then there's this is another one of the pros. There's a scene where a bunch of like stereotypical like bald biker dudes come up to him and he's like, "Hey, are you the fish boy?" or whatever.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're going to beat him up or whatever, and then they're like, "Can we get your autograph and take a picture with you?" And I thought that was neat. Because it was
cute.
like subverting
Expectations.
and then you know how movies will be like we'll put where we are at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
They put the word somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean on the screen,
Good.
which like didn't help me
No.
at all. And then they talk underwater, which pissed me off because I thought they made it very clear in Justice League that you cannot talk underwater, because there's a whole fight scene where no one's talking, and then the girl who we're going to meet in a couple of minutes who can control water like makes a bubble of like, now we're in air and we can talk to each other. And then people, including Aquaman, and then I was like, maybe it's just Aquaman who can't talk underwater, but no, he definitely can. So
Weird.
I don't know, man. And then I thought we couldn't talk underwater. Okay, so you know how sometimes in a film, maybe you don't get like this, maybe it's just me, but tell me if you get like this or not. Sometimes you're watching a film and you're like immersed or whatever, and then an actor walks on screen. You're like, oh, that's that actor. And
Yeah.
you're taken right out of it. Like every time I see Samuel L. Jackson, I'm like, hey, that's Sam Jackson. This is a
Yeah.
movie. 3 of those actors were in one scene.
Good.
The first one being Patrick Wilson, the guy who's in all the like Conjuring and Annabelle, that guy.
Yeah.
The second one, so he's Prince Orm, who you find out is Aquaman's half brother. They have the same mom.
Okay.
And then we're introduced to Vulko, who is played by Willem Dafoe,
Good.
the guy who played the Green Goblin.
Oh, your favorite actor.
My favorite actor of all time. He's not creepy at all. And he's playing the king's vizier, and the king is played by Dolph Lundgren.
Good.
And he's got like
Good.
an orange ass beard and flowing orange hair, and it's he looked so weird, dude.
If he dies, he dies.
And he was like, so he's the king of whatever the fuck.
Russia.
So what?
King of Russia.
No, I think Atlantis,
Oh, okay.
probably. But basically the point of that scene is like, Prince Orm is the villain of the film, and he's trying to be king of. It's called Ocean Master. It's a dumb name, but like it's cool that they use that name because that's his like super villain name from the comic books.
Yeah.
I looked up, but basically Ocean Master is like, I'm king of everything. Like right now, each sector of the Atlantic Ocean has its own king, but if I was Ocean Master, I'd be king of everything.
Gotcha.
So that's what he's trying to do. So he's meeting with Dolph Lundgren to be like, can I have your kingdom too? And Dolph Lundgren's pretty like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. And then they get, quote unquote, attacked by humans. You find out later that it was staged by King Orm so that they thought the humans were attacking them. But really it was just, this part was not explained in the film. I had to look this up afterwards. That was Black Manta in the submarine he stole from the pirates.
Okay.
Which did have a giant hole in it, I'm now realizing. So I don't know how he did that. But anyways, that's what that was. So basically that scene is like, so scene number 2 where we're talking and then the talking gets interrupted with an explosion.
Good. Okay.
And that
Starting to become too many of those.
so far we're at 2.
Yes.
Keep count.
Okay.
So the point of that scene is like we're talking, he's on the fence, shoot us, and then they shoot him and now they're fighting, and then it's like, oh, we need you, and then now they're a team or whatever.
Okay.
And then the word somewhere in the North Sea came on the screen. I was like, awesome.
Really nailing them down.
So then King Orm, or Prince Orm or whatever, he attacks the land with like a giant tidal wave, and it happens to be where Aquaman is. And he's driving down the street with his dad, and I put in my notes, no reason to kill the dad, because I was like, please don't kill the dad and make it like, now I have to avenge my dad. But I crossed it out because I didn't. They did not kill the dad.
Okay.
The dad and the that's kind of a spoiler. The dad makes it through this movie.
Hey, listen, I don't care.
Everyone makes it through this movie except
Cool.
no, everyone makes it through this movie except
Cool.
the Black Manta's dad. But I already told you about him. Yeah. The as the story goes, Nicole Kidman, since the last time we saw her, is dead, and Aquaman thinks that Atlanteans did it. Prince Orm thinks that no, Prince Orm knows Atlanteans did it. Aquaman thinks Atlanteans did it, but she's dead. And then I said there was too much. They just kept cutting to news for exposition.
Yeah.
Like, now to show you what's happening all around the world, look at this news. And I'm like, cool. Now I'm just watching the news. And that's always annoying. So then we're introduced to Mira, who is pretty cool. She's played by Amber Heard. She has the ability to manipulate water. Like, as long as there's water there, she can move it and do whatever she wants with it, as long as it has water in it. She's pretty cool. She saves the dad. This is another one of those scenes where it was like, no, I've got it. Like, I'll do it. And then Aquaman's like, yeah, I'm gonna focus on my dad because he's like almost dying or whatever. She convinces Aquaman to go back to Atlantis, and this is where the plot gets really muddy. The plot of this movie is it ends up sort of being like a video game. There's the whole thing of like, we have to go here to do this. Oh no, this happened. Now we have to collect this from here and this from here, and then go back here with those two things to get this, and then fight the bad guy.
Okay.
And that can work, you know. A movie plot like a video game plot can work if it's done well. But I don't think it was done well in this movie. It was very much all over the place. You didn't really know what you were going to get next, which was kind of not great. Then they're in like so when you're in the water, their hair is like doing what hair would do.
Yeah.
But there's this scene where they're in her ship, and the ship has like a dome over it, so they're in the ship in theory, but the hair is still like it's in the water. It was really weird. And it wasn't a continuity. I mean, it technically was, but it wasn't within its own movie, because when they get back in the ship, it happens again. So I just didn't get why there was like, if the ship is in water, why is there a film over it? And like,
right.
So then, I put Y cleavage because Mira's outfit is just like, hello.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I looked at pictures of her from the comic, and like, it looks accurate, but like, we didn't have to.
Yeah.
It's like every time I see Scarlet Witch, I'm like, why still? Are we doing this?
Was Aquaman in a comic book accurate suit?
Not at this point, but later on he was.
Okay.
He will be. Which was cool. That's actually one of my pros. But Y cleavage.
Is it the Sea Master suit? Is that what it is?
Oh, the Ocean Master suit?
Yeah. Whatever.
Oh, maybe that's what that was supposed to be. No, I'll explain it.
Okay.
So then we're in. Mira takes Aquaman to like an underwater shipwreck, but there's air there. She like cast a whatever spell on it to make it so there's air there. And then they meet Willem Dafoe, who Aquaman already knows, because Willem Dafoe used to secretly come to land and like train him to like use a trident and speak underwater and stuff. So they don't really explain this until later on, but Aquaman, kind of like how this movie actually has a lot of similarities to Black Panther, I'm noticing. Actually, that's interesting. This movie is exactly like Black Panther, except if Killmonger was the main character and Black Panther was the villain.
Okay.
Because Aquaman goes to Atlantis, and one way or another, he's like, give me the throne back. And then he gets the throne. And then what was I getting at? So Aquaman's unique in the way that he can talk to fish. No other Atlanteans can talk to fish. Something in his human cross-Atlantis DNA makes it so he can talk to fish.
Okay.
That's like his big superpower, because as far as like everyone can swim as fast as he can if you're an Atlantean. Everyone can talk and breathe underwater. Everyone can, manipulate water with a trident, but he can talk to fish. And when he does talk to fish, this is one of my pros. I'm off script now. When he does talk to fish later on, it looks awesome. It happens exactly the way that it would happen in the books. Like he like does a little thing with his finger, and then like the rings go out, and he like
okay.
yeah, it looks exactly like you would think it would look. And then we get a little. Hang on, hold on. I just remembered there's a pro. So we get backstory on him, on Willem Dafoe training Aquaman, and there's this really cool shot where the two of them are standing on a cliff, and I guess this was earlier in the movie, and I forgot to talk about it. They're standing on a cliff, Aquaman and Mira, the lady, and then the camera's like zooming around them, and every pass it would change from them to Willem Dafoe and young Aquaman. But for whatever reason, Willem Dafoe is completely CGI in this scene. But he didn't look younger. He just looked made of CGI.
Good.
Like, Willem Dafoe has looked like an old man for the last, 30 years.
Yeah.
And I think the people doing the CGI were like, well, this is just Willem Dafoe that we've made, but in CGI. So I put cool shot, but gross CGI Willem Dafoe.
So you got all forms of your buddy Willem Dafoe
Yeah.
in this movie.
It's almost like they wanted me to fucking hate him and not want to look at him. And then, while we're with Willem Dafoe in the shipwreck, he gives them the thing that they need to bring to the Sahara Desert or whatever the fuck. And then, do you want to guess what happens next?
They talk and an explosion happens?
A big goddamn explosion happens, and it's the same fucking dudes from the first scene. It's the Atlanteans, and they're like, we're here to fuck you up. And then there's like 3 of them, and they're like bigger, and Aquaman wins, but then he doesn't because he gets kidnapped. And then they fucking he's like in front of his half-brother, and his half-brother's on a throne, and he's tied down. But the way they tied him down is they just have 4 people holding chains that are holding him down.
Oh.
Which is not a great way to do that because this guy's fucking strong, bro. And then I think Jason Momoa wrote this movie. I don't know why, but it just got to be a little too much, I think. Oh, yeah, there was a scene where him and Prince Orm are talking, and he says something like, I'll take you on any day, bro. And Prince Orm is like, are you saying that you would like to officially challenge me in combat for the throne or whatever the fuck? And he was like, hell yeah, bro. I don't care what the fight looks like. Let's fucking fuck each other up. That's not actually what he said, but that's the basic idea.
Good.
And
cool.
And he was like, then it's settled. We will settle it in combat. And he was like, whatever, man. I'm going to win. And that was a scene where I was like, it's just the tonal shift of the way he's talking and the way he's talking.
And they definitely wanted to
They definitely wanted that juxtaposition, but it was too
just too much.
It was obvious that Patrick Wilson was acting and Jason Momoa was
being
talking.
Jason Momoa. Yeah.
yeah. So this is where I talked about talking to fish looked awesome. He had a battle outfit for this fight, and it looked really cool. It was not the traditional Aquaman outfit, but it was like a half chest plate pauldron thing. You know how The Rock has a tattoo?
Yeah.
It's like that much area was covered by the armor.
Okay.
And he looked very in his pants. He was just wearing a outfit that they would put in Injustice. It just looked really cool.
Okay, cool.
Which is one of the pros that I had. And then really like nope, that's way later. And then they escape. So Mira, you find out that she's betrothed to Prince Orm. She stops the fight. Aquaman's about to lose, and then she cheats and takes him out of the fight. And then they escape the city in a very Star Wars-esque, trench run-ass, we gotta dodge from the bullets.
Yeah.
But we're underwater. That wasn't a jab. That was just
no.
They were underwater, and then they make it look like they died. They stop the search. You find out that the bracelet that he gave her has a tracker on it, and then they have to go to the Sahara Desert because the Sahara Desert used to be an ocean. Is that true? Did the
I don't
Sahara
know.
Desert? She said that the Sahara Desert used to be a vast ocean, but it dried up. I'm not sure if
It
that's
could be.
true or not. That could be true, but basically what they do is over the next couple scenes, what they do is they get on a plane, they fly to the Sahara Desert, they talk about how Mira has never been up this high, and then she immediately skydives out of an airplane without a parachute.
Cool.
And then they're just walking in the Sahara Desert, and he's like, this sucks, and then he falls, and then he falls down a big slide, and then now they're in like this underwater tomb, but it's all sand, right? So there's no water there. And they do that thing that they do sometimes in movies where like some of their clothes is white and it's just not covered in sand. After all that, it's just like clean again.
Yeah.
But the whole scene. Are you familiar with Pitbull, the artist?
Yeah.
I guess he has a song. I did a little research that he wrote for this movie. You know how rappers and R&B artists will sometimes take a real song and like the chorus of their song is that one, and then they just start rapping.
Yeah.
Jason Derulo does it all the time. This one was Africa by Toto.
Good.
Which not Pitbull's fault, but left a bad taste in my mouth because of all the Weezer stuff.
Yeah.
Because Weezer, for those of you who don't know, covered that song, and they literally did it the exact same way, and I don't know why they did it like that. And now we have a Pitbull version, I guess. And then the fucking Aquaman, he did it once in Justice League, and they must have loved it so much that they told him to do it like 4 more times. He makes this noise. It's almost like Goofy's shout, but it's just like it's basically like a yee-haw, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but like he'll do it at the weirdest times. Like he did it while he was falling out of the plane, but he also did it while he was swimming, and it's like, you've swam this fast before. I don't know why you're like just now experiencing this. Like I don't get it. And it's a really annoying sound. Clothes not covered in sand. What were you gonna say?
We gotta look that up after this. I want to hear the sound. Oh, okay, now I'm just picturing Goofy like,
Yahoo! Basically, but it's Jason Momoa. Dude, all we have to do is watch the trailer. It was in the trailer twice.
Cool. Yeah, let's do it.
That
was an awful Goofy, by the way.
Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Okay.
And then just a small nitpick. Prince Orm has like these water holograms that he keeps sending to Black Manta, and Black Manta walks through one, but he's not wet, which was like that wouldn't have been that hard to just do that. And then there's like a montage of Black Manta like making his suit and becoming Black Manta. He has a weapon that sounded kind of cool, where all you need to do is add water, and it converts the water into like hot plasma beams, and that's what shoots out of his big dumb head.
Okay.
And then I put clothes not covered in sand redux, because there's another scene where they fall through sand and their clothes aren't covered in sand. And then I put "Are we children? Oops, our hands touched," because they do that thing where they're like standing too close and they're like their hands touch and they're like, "Oh, that was weird. I didn't mean to do that. I've never felt this way before."
Wow, this movie,
yeah,
just. I really want to make that video essay. Movies have just progressed so much. This nonsense
for scenes like that to happen. Yeah.
This nonsense, and you've mentioned a few of them, and I've kept my mouth shut up until that's just
dumb.
Unacceptable.
It's dumb.
It's just stupid. It's just really stupid. I can't. In this moment, I will write it down in a full video essay about the history of cinema. Express how beyond that we are, and how you're just pandering to us about how feelings feel.
Yeah.
As if we don't know.
So, no, all salient points that I do agree with.
Thank you.
There's a scene where they take the thing that Willem Dafoe gave him, they put him on the thing, it doesn't work. She needs water, there's no water around. She takes water from the moisture on his forehead. This was one of my pros, because this was really cool, I thought. That's it. That's the whole scene. But she takes water out of his face. It was awesome.
Oh, okay.
And then, sorry, just kind of got to go back and forth between notes here. Then they go to Italy. And Italy, because that's
they're
where
just on vacation at this point.
Yeah, basically. Italy's where the message told him to go. And Italy was probably the best scene in the whole movie.
Okay.
Because
Spider-Man was there.
A number of things happened. So I really liked the scene where they had to like solve a riddle, and it had to do with a king, and they're like at a bunch of statues, and it was like the one true king. And Aquaman, using his infinite knowledge of American history that his dad made sure he knew when he grew up, that's what he said. He was like, look at all these statues. That's this person from Roman mythology. That's this person from Greek mythology. None of these fuckers are kings except Romulus. And then he puts the thing in Romulus's hand, then you can like see through it. It was cool, but like, it was a cool
That's
scene.
just Indiana Jones.
Yeah. It was a cool scene, but at the same time, I was just like, you were just a big dumb oaf in the last scene, and now you're like, I know everything there is to know about American history. But it was a cool scene. And then wouldn't you know, the big explosion happens in the middle of a
number
sentence.
4.
That's number 4. Is it the last one? Yeah, I put really liked literally this happened as I was writing it. I put really liked bottle Romulus scene until they started touching and then the explosion happened again.
Good. Touching?
They were like doing like are we going to kiss?
Yeah.
You know? What were you going to say?
I forgot you didn't go to the theaters to see this movie. I was like, that's awesome. You brought your notebook in the theater to...
No, I watched it on HBO Go, dog.
Right. We talked about that earlier in this. Yeah, 11:50, I know.
So then there's a big fight scene, and it's really great. It's probably the best scene in the whole film because she's on one part of the town fighting 2 dudes, and he's on another part of the town fighting 1 dude. He's fighting Black Manta. She's just fighting regular dudes. And every time they switch between scenes, instead of cutting, they like literally like zoom all the way out, and it's like now we're here with Aquaman.
Oh, that's
And then
cool.
they like move the camera all the way back with a fake helicopter shot, and it's like now we're with Mira.
Yeah.
It was very neat. There was this one scene where it was just a long, prolonged, uncut shot of this one dude juggernauting through a building where he's like, wall, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where he's like running and breaking a bunch of walls, and you follow him for like a long while, and it was really cool because like he was reacting the way I would have reacted. Like at a certain point, he gets to like a flight of stairs that he just kind of like the stairs go like this, and he just like jumps over it, and it's like that's momentum. That's how I would have reacted too.
Yeah.
So that was cool. There was a cool scene in this where Mira ends up in a wine, a place where a bunch of wine is being stored, and she realizes that there's water in it, so she like all the wine at them, and it looked really cool. And then, wouldn't you know it, Aquaman, even though he's in the middle of like 4 different things, starts saving people. There's a big bell that like crashes down on a bunch of civilians, and he like goes out of his way to save them. And I was like, does he feel bad? Like, where was this with Black Manta's dad?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, this is what you should be doing. Like, you're Aquaman.
Right. Either you're that hero or you're not.
Right.
Either
Right.
you're the guy who beats up the bully, or you're the guy who beats up the bully, but he beats him up because he's saving people.
Literally, like, it's the difference between Superman and like year 1 Tony Stark. You
Right,
know?
exactly.
Like, you can't be
be
both.
both. Yeah.
But he was. That's the problem. It feels like 6 people wrote this.
Yeah.
And then there was a scene where I put it out as a con, but I'm really more so just confused why it existed, where him and Black Manta are fighting, and then they end up in an old woman's house. Like, they crash through her house, and she's sitting on the couch. And I was like, oh, where's the punchline? There wasn't a punchline. She literally just watches them emotionless, and they fight, and then they leave. I thought it was going to be like, I thought the old woman was going to do some funny shit where it's like, oh, wipe your feet or whatever, but nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, Aquaman didn't stop to apologize. Nothing happened with the old woman. She was just there. And I don't get it. Where was I? Old woman scene. Is that this movie was all over the place. I've been not talking about like the B plot, which is Prince Orm going to all these different civilizations and being like, I'm Ocean Hitler. Now you're with me. Now you're with me. Ha ha ha. You know? But he's been doing that. Let's see. Let's go back over to the pros real quick. Plots like a video game. I put that. The third person shot, Aquaman saving people. Oh, that's all the pros. We're out of pros.
Good.
So then we have to go to like, I forget what they call it, but they have to go to like the deep, deep bottom of the ocean where all the like shit. They explain earlier in the film that like when Atlantis sunk, because remember Atlantis was like in theory, a landlocked town and got sunk to the bottom of the ocean. When it did actually sink, they said that half the civilization evolved into like these Atlantean fish people, and half of them devolved into like basically just like bloodborne enemies. So they have to go there where those things are, and it's basically like a giant. I referred to it as a trench run. I know that's not the proper term, but it was basically like we're going straight down, they're following us. It was a cool shot, but when it focused on one thing, it was really hard to follow. And then all of a sudden, they were in the oh god, what's the fucking book by Jules Verne where the Journey to the Center of the Earth?
Okay.
Basically, now they're in Journey to the Center of the Earth. They're literally like in a garden in the center, in the core of the earth, and there's pterodactyls and stuff.
Are you kidding me?
No, there was literal dinosaurs. And then...
All right, I think I would have been done. I think I would have stopped watching this movie.
I was so certain there was like 10 minutes left. Boy, was I surprised to see that there was at least 40.
Oh.
So then, remember Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp, I believe it's called?
Mm-hmm.
When they finally find the mom, and she's like, I've been in the quantum realm for an impossible amount of years, and now I look like this.
Yeah.
They basically did that. Nicole Kidman shows up. She's in, like, battle armor. She looks like one of the evil fish things. And it's like, it's me, Nicole Kidman. I've been here for the past 20 years because you can come in, but you can't come out. Because the only way to come out is you go into this hole, and you swim down, and you take the... They've been trying to find the trident this whole time, like the trident. Like, Aquaman has his own, but this is like the trident.
Okay.
And it's basically a King Arthur situation where it's like, if you're worthy, you can grab it. But what that translates to is there's a big fucking kaiju down there, like a huge, giant octopus-ass kaiju thing.
Yeah.
Voiced by Judi Dench, which was weird. Judi Dench is Mary Poppins,
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
Right? No, sorry, that's Julie Andrews. Judi Dench is the new M from Skyfall.
Yes.
The old one, yeah. Sorry, I get them confused all the time. Julie Andrews is Mary Poppins. But that thing was voiced by that. She's talking at him, and he's ignoring her, trying to get the trident because he doesn't want to fight her. But the whole thing is like, you fight me, you get the trident. But then he starts talking, and she immediately stops. She's like, whoa, you can understand me? And he was like, yeah, I talk to fish, don't we all? And she was like, no, you're super duper special if you can talk to fish. The trident's all yours. And also the clothes that guy is wearing, I guess. They don't explain that, but it's Aquaman's uniform. Now he's in like the gold scaly outfit, and he's got the trident, he's got the green pants. He looks awesome. And he's like that for the rest of the movie. And then I wrote this. I put it like halfway between the con and pro section because it's not really either. I just kind of wanted to talk about this. I thought it was kind of cool. At the same time, in a different scene, the brother is getting his like Ocean Master costume from the comic. I thought it was cool how they got their like comic book costume at the same time.
Yeah.
And they both looked pretty cool. They both translated to film better than I thought they would.
Nice.
So then it cuts back to the B plot, and it's Prince Orm like fighting these like crustacean people. And the leader of the crustaceans is voiced by the guy who played Gimli, which was not weird other than the fact that the other leader of the other tribe was voiced by the guy who played Thor and Oakenshield from The Hobbit. So we got two of them. We got two of them dwarfs in this film. And then it lingers on the scene for like a long ass time, and I was like, I don't care. This is the B plot that I haven't cared about this whole movie. I don't care how this war ends up, because Aquaman's gonna show up, and then I was like, oh, and then Aquaman shows up, and he's riding the thing, the like big kaiju thing voiced by Judi Dench.
Yeah.
And long story short, they battle, whatever, and then it culminates with them on top of a structure like on land, because last battle was in the sea, but Aquaman fights in the land, so Mira was like, take him to where you fight. And then they kiss for no reason. There's no reason for these two characters to have romantic feelings towards each other.
Jason Momoa and the bad guy?
No, and the girl he's been with.
Oh,
the girl who controls water. They kiss, and it's like, why? Why? Like, I hate when movies do this. And it's been really good lately. The past couple movies I've been like, don't kiss, don't fucking kiss, and they don't. Like Rogue One. Yeah. Like, if Rogue One ended with a kiss, that movie would be 10 times worse. But it doesn't. But this one does for some reason. There's no reason for them to be romantic. And then they go up to the ship. They fight. Neither one of them win because they're... he's about to kill him, but he tells him to yield, which was funny because another parallel between Black Panther from the scene where he's like, yield, I don't want to kill you. And it's like, all of a sudden, Aquaman... This is the feeling I got, not the feeling I was supposed to have. All of a sudden, Aquaman doesn't want to kill. Yeah. Like, he killed earlier in the film. I guess that was his arc or whatever. But the fight is interrupted by the mom, and Ocean Master's like, what? I thought you were dead. I'm going to stop fighting now because you're back. And then she was basically like, you've been led astray. Take him to jail. And then he just, like, willingly walks off, and it's like, no, all right, Mom. And then Mira gives a speech about how the new king is here. And then Nicole Kidman does, in fact, come out of the water exactly where she told the husband to wait, and like now they can be together. And then there's a short scene of him like swinging around being cool, and then he like does a cool jump out of the water, and the narrator is like, I'm Aquaman. He's like, do you want to know why? Because I'm Aquaman. And I was like, yeah? Are you sure you meant to say Aquaman and not Batman? Because that's Batman's thing that he says. And that was the whole movie. I didn't like it at all. I mean, I liked some of it. I liked the Italy scenes. That's the thing about these fucking movies. There's always the scene where it's like, there was that one scene though, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
You know? This movie was, I didn't do a good job of describing the plot, but like the plot didn't do a good job of describing the plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, and the after the credit scene, because all superhero movies have to do that, I guess, is Black Manta related. There was this one newscaster on one of the newscasts that was like, no, fuck you guys. Atlanteans are real. What about Aquaman? Are you kidding me? And the after the credit scene is after the big fight he had with Aquaman where he totally fucking lost. He washes up at this guy's place, and this guy, it's like implied that he's going to help him make a new Black Manta suit. And I was like, great, cool. The C-plot that I literally didn't give a shit about is the stinger for the next Aquaman movie that, as of yesterday, is not happening with Jason Momoa.
He'll probably get The Rock.
No, The Rock is already up in there. The Rock's going to play Black Adam.
Oh, right.
The Rock.
I wouldn't put it past
Dwayne-
him to have him play both.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson is playing Black Adam. Do you know about this character?
You've told me a bit about it.
He's Shazam's
right.
bad guy.
Yeah.
He's Shazam's Joker. But, like, he wasn't in the Shazam movie, and he is, as far as I was told, going to appear first in the next Suicide Squad movie. And then this is the plan. It could always change. I hope it does. Because fucking DC is always like, we're going to do this, and then they totally change it. And they make like one movie every 2 years. The plan was have him appear in Suicide Squad, make a Black Adam movie, and then make a Shazam 2, and then have Black Adam appear in Shazam 3.
Oh, okay.
They just like really don't care about Shazam. They were just like, we got The Rock, let's do whatever the fuck we want with Black Adam.
For franchise that only makes one movie every 2 years, that's a lot of
Forward thinking.
Yeah.
That's a lot of contracts that are probably already up.
Yeah, exactly. The Rock's contract is going to be done
Probably
before
already
his first
up,
movie. Yeah.
I still can't get over the fact that the Flash was in Justice League and one cameo scene in Suicide Squad, and then his contract was up.
Yeah. I have another thing. Shazam, the actor who plays Shazam.
Zachary Levi.
He is not.
We're going to be in the same room with him tomorrow.
We are going to be in the same room with him tomorrow, and probably Saturday.
Yeah. This is we're recording this the day before Boston Comic Con.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll find out tomorrow. I'm not meeting him, but I'll probably be able to see him out of the corner of my eye. He's not that ripped. They definitely CGI'd all of his muscles.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
That was I'm sure it's obvious, but I was just sitting here like something. Just there's another thing that bothers me about these movies, and it's he's not ripped. And I can tell it's super obvious.
I think that's the point, that it looks kind of fake, because that character's a little kid who like turns into an adult. You know what I mean? He does the thing where he's a 10-year-old. He's like Shazam, and now he's a superhero. So I think, but I do agree. It was like they literally
It just looks goofy.
They definitely were like, well, if he's gonna eventually go up against Rock the Dwayne Johnson, we gotta make him super jacked, right?
Right, but they didn't have the integrity to be like, you work out a bunch like they did with. But I guess we'll see in his next movie. No, because they probably
hired this dude and then started filming the next day,
right.
And they were like, "Where's the script?" They were like, "What? What? What?" No, I won't badmouth a movie I haven't seen. I will badmouth Aquaman because the writing was the absolute worst part. I had problems with a bunch of things from scene to scene, and most of the plot was hard to follow, but the writing was by far the worst part. It was just lines where I was like, and then he's going to say this. I was like, oh, he said it. It was really dumb.
Yeah. No, it sounds like you watched a movie that came out in 2019 that should have come out in 2008.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't, because of the MCU, when a movie comes out that now and it feels like I'm watching like an old X-Men movie or those old Fantastic Four movies or like even a Raimi Spider-Man, even though they're good, like if it feels like that's what I'm watching, I'm like superhero movies have evolved past this.
Movies in general, though.
Movies in general, but like also like Marvel is like really like solidified the subtle and not subtle nuances of how to make a superhero movie, and they are just completely not present in DC movies.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, here's the thing. Before any MCU movies...
You're going to talk about Dark Knight?
No. I actually wasn't. That was actually an exception. I was just going to say superhero movies were kind of the bottom of the barrel as far as movies go. Like,
especially for people like us who wanted those movies to be really good. And like every like 1 out of 10 was really good. Like X-Men 1 was really good and Spider-Man 2 was really good. That's about it.
But at the time, even then, there weren't high expectations.
Right.
You made a superhero movie. If it was a good superhero people like, if you were lucky enough to get the rights, then people watched it.
Yeah,
and they took it for what it was.
In 2003, they would have never greenlit a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But now, not only are superheroes not bottom of the barrel, they have probably the highest expectations of any movie franchise. I mean, genre.
Yeah.
They're kind of front runners for, like, how should the industry move?
I mean, they're literally front runners in the sense that, like, 6 of the 10 top grossing films are superhero films, and the highest grossing film of all time is Avengers Endgame.
Right.
So, like...
That's what I'm saying. But somebody forgot to tell DC.
Yeah. But here's the thing, and I'll always circle back to this when I have this conversation with somebody. They, as a studio, and it obviously depends on who they get to write and direct and stuff and act and whatever, have the capacity to make a good film.
Oh, absolutely.
Wonder Woman was a huge success, and I would watch that right the fuck now. It's so fucking good.
Absolutely, sure.
But, like...
They just don't care enough.
No, they don't. That's what it boils down to.
But they kind of have to. Well, here's the thing. I'm sitting here saying they kind of have to.
To keep our attention.
To keep our attention. The public's going to go watch them just because. Because, oh, hey, there's that hero I know. I'm going to go watch the movie because everybody's talking about that movie. Which, it just kind of comes down to a moral stance. It's like, well, we could make this movie really good or we could make it quick.
Right, yeah. It's insane that they jumped right into Shazam.
Oh, absolutely.
It's also insane that Captain Marvel and Shazam came out the same year. I can't stop thinking about that. Because Shazam's actual name used to be Captain Marvel.
Right.
But they, I believe there was a literal lawsuit in Marvel 1.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah. But that's just... in the grand scheme of, how long I've been alive, it's crazy that those two characters I've just mentioned got a movie in general, and it's even more bonkers that they were released, within the same summer.
It's even... Here's the thing, too, and I know I voiced this to you. I want it on... I want it recorded, though.
Yeah, here it comes.
Do you know what I'm going to say?
No, I just...
Oh, okay. I love DC superheroes.
No, me too.
We live in the alternate universe where DC is awful on screen and Marvel is fantastic. Before I started watching the MCU, and this is my fault, because I'm a poser, but I only knew a few Marvel heroes. I liked the ones I knew.
You'd seen a couple of the films.
Exactly. But if you were like, okay, Chris, Superman and Batman or Iron Man, Captain America, I'd be like, are you kidding me? Is this a joke?
Obviously Batman.
Right. Well, haha, I'd pick Superman. But
I meant in terms of movies.
Oh yeah, who would you rather go see? I'd be like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
But now it's like Chris, the Batman versus Superman movie came out. You want to watch that or Iron Man 1, which came out 10 years before, and I'd be like, just put in Iron Man 1, man.
Iron Man 1 is still so fucking good.
Oh yeah.
Every time I watch that film, I'm like, all right, it's old, just forgive it of its shortcomings, and I always leave being like, that was still
it still
really
holds up.
good.
Yeah.
I never voiced this to you, but you had a very unique viewing experience of that because you didn't know they string you along for so long thinking that Jeff Bridges isn't going to be the villain.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then in the last half hour it's like he's the villain, got ya, and it's like whoa. And I knew that because I saw the trailers, but you had a genuine oh shit.
Oh yeah, and it's such a creepy way of how you find out, isn't it? He paralyzes him, right? That's the first instance where you're like, oh, he was the bad
there's
guy.
a scene before that where he
meets up with the
he meets with the arms dealers, and you're like, oh shit. And even in that scene, you at the very least you're like, oh, he's on their side.
Right.
even if you don't realize he's like.
He's the main guy.
No, that's right. I forgot. That's the movie where he like fucks up the arc reactor and like paralyzes him. And he looks really gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. The moral of the story is go watch the next
Another
Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Don't watch Aquaman. I did a pretty good job. If you like stupid one-liners where fucking like Aquaman looks at the camera and he's like, anytime, any place, N-word, like then go watch Aquaman. But like it's not worth it. Anyways, that was Aquaman. I've been Thunder.
I'm Lightning.
I don't think I said that into the mic. I've been Thunder.
I've been Lightning.
Okay, thank you for picking on me. And we'll see you whenever, actually. I don't know when we'll see you because we're still super busy. But
yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this.
We'll tell you about Comic-Con.